On today's Saturday news, is The Undertaker joining WWE Creative?
Is Vince McMahon getting back into wrestling?
Did Mariah May's AEW departure affect All In 2025?
And Progress Wrestling heads to Manchester. Are you ready? Are you ready for the news times? My name is Phil Chambers. I'm joined by Gareth Morgan to talk all things wrestling news. But what have we got first?
We got the dead man talking about creative, because he's a creative soul, isn't he? Bless him. So, he was having a chat with WrestleStar. He was having a big conversation. They were talking all things, just WWE, life, wrestling, all that jazz. And one thing that came up
He does like to
was...
talk these days.
He does a lot, doesn't he? Can you remember that? Like, what was it, like 5 years ago? He was like, I don't want to jot the facade and my character. I feel like I'm peeling back the curtain. Fast forward 5 years later. Here's the curtain, guys.
Burn the curtain, tear it down, stomp on it.
He wears it as a cape now, like he did in his entrances. That's it. He just don't care. So, yeah, they were talking about, obviously, there's been rumours recently about, like, is he going to be, like, part of WWE Creative? Has he already been a part of WWE Creative? Like, I've heard of, was it Conan, I think, maybe mentioned it as well? Maybe?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think his name came up. I may have just dreamt that. It happens. But he's now kind of talked about that and addressed it, because it was brought up in this interview. He said, I've always kind of had an interest. It's just a matter of making it work with my schedule and the other things I have going on, because they ask for something like that. It's really big. I have to be 100% committed to be a part of that, right? I mean, you have to be involved in all of these creative meetings and all this other stuff. If we can figure out a way to make that happen, make it happen, being obviously in Texas, I would definitely entertain it. If there is something I can do that can make our product better, help talents, then I'm on board for that. So I think it sounds like he's pretty much saying that if they can do it in a way where he can still, I think he lives in Texas, I think that's what it is. So he's like, if I could still maybe like be in Texas, but we can do things remotely nowadays, can't they? You can just put a little laptop there with the dead man on with his nice little braid over his shoulder and just go, right guys, rip all the creative off, put the title on me from a fact. You know what I mean? But you can still do that. That's fine. So that's an option, clearly. And then within this same interview, Michelle McCool was there as well, obviously The Undertaker's wife. She's a WWE Hall of Famer in her own right now. And she was like asked about the possibility of like coming back, maybe even competing at Evolution. Obviously, it's coming up soon. And she says, if they ask, I'll be there. In fact, I would love a Lay Cool reunion. That would be, I think Layla's finally kind of getting back in the scene. But look, I'm always down to fight. I'm always ready. I have not been called, but I would love to do anything they ask me to do. And both of those are going to be judges for the upcoming season of WWE LFG, which really weird now, because I remember we like first mentioned that and talked about that like a year ago, whatever it was, and we were like, what a silly sounding show. But it turned out to be quite good in the end, didn't it? There was some really cool stuff within that, and it's got like another season, so yeah, fair play with that. But a lot of things to unpack there. Undertaker sounding interested in being a part of WWE Creative, and Michelle McCool sounding interested about wrestling again, possibly Evolution, possibly as part of Lay Cool.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how either of these things pan out. Like the sort of Shawn Michaels kind of started in a kind of similar way, I guess, but it's like his was more like he just kind of appeared at the Performance Center occasionally and like got into like trading the new recruits and then ended up just throwing himself full force into NXT and like training and creative side of that as well. And then to take us kind of if he starts dabbling in the creative process, maybe he'll want to get involved more. But I mean, he's got a hell of a brain for the business. He's been doing this for a really, really, really long time.
He's done it before. He's taught classes, hasn't he, at the PC? I'm sure I've seen videos of him with like Damian Priest, like talk to all the big men and like having those kind of master classes.
So it'd be interesting to see how it pans out and how it fits within sort of Triple H's team. But at the same time, like Lay Cool and Michelle McCool, like you don't know what's going to be going on at Evolution at the minute, but the women's roster is stacked as it is. If you look at sort of Raw, SmackDown and NXT as well, there's not going to be a huge amount of space on that card for sort of legends and things like that. So it'd be interesting to see whether they just want to focus it on the current talent that they've got and shine a light on them, or whether they want to bring in some sort of legends in as well to kind of just add a different layer to the show in general.
You're right. It's like talent doesn't seem to be the issue with this show now at all.
No,
it is genuinely just the creative side. How can we make it? How can we make some compelling stories now to not exactly sell the show, because I think it's pretty much sold already for a lot of people. It's like, yes, we've wanted this for a while, so we'll be there. But it's just trying to make it have that kind of Becky Charlotte level story to anchor it, like to be one of those big selling points for the show. I think they had, what was it, Nikki Bella and Ronda Rousey was like the big marquee one as well. It's like having those big blockbuster matches where you've got a bit of investment there as well. So I think you need that. But they've got the talent there. That's just not an issue.
They got the talent there. It's a shame about Liv Morgan, obviously, with her injuries, and like she's going to be out of it, which sucks. But there's still plenty more stuff there, and they've just brought up a bunch of people to the main roster too, with like Roxanne Perez and Stephanie Bacquer and Julia and things like that. So they are not short of talent in that women's division to fill out a full Evolution card. Not a chance. So we'll have to wait and see on both fronts. But let us know down in the comments below. Is it something you want to see? Is it not? Let us know. But moving over to Vince McMahon, classic. Still always talking about bloody Vince McMahon and what he's been up to whilst he's been sat around waiting for his trial to start about sex abuse and sex trafficking. But he's been doing business things because he's Vince McMahon. Of course he is. So a few weeks ago we reported that he'd launched 3 new companies called like 14th and I and like 14th and I Entertainment, 14th and I Investment, and 14th and I something else. All sort of within the entertainment and industry and like management and things like that. So he's got those going on. He's also been bidding for bare knuckle fighting championship, which is Conor McGregor's thing. But then there's also some rumours going around from like Bischoff and Jonathan Coachman that there's talks about him buying WWE back from TKO, which is kind of a stretch, but I guess if he finds some incredibly rich partner, that like you know, never say never in this crazy world of wrestling. But Dave Meltzer has said one other thing, but it's what he kind of won't be doing rather than what he is doing, and it's that he won't be running any kind of minor league competition for WWE. Basically, the quote in it is that Vince McMahon is too dominant-minded to start a war that he can't win. So this is obvious. It's Vince McMahon. He wants to be on the top of whatever it is that he's doing. Even if you look back at like the XFL and something like that, he never pitched that as a competitor for the NFL. He pitched it as like something else, like that he wanted to present football in a different way. It was more choices rather than a direct competition kind of thing. So like even with the potential of like him buying like a TNA or something like a lower level wrestling product, there's no way he would do it because he just cannot compete with the distribution deals that like the likes of AEW and WWE have. So there's no way for him to compete against the juggernaut that is WWE that he created. So he's just not going to do it, basically. So we'll have to wait and see where he ends up, whether he does end up getting this bare knuckle fighting championship or whether he finds some big rich pockets to help him buy WWE back. Who the hell knows? But he's still there and thereabouts, peeking his little head over business things constantly.
Yeah.
He's Vince McMahon.
He's just there, isn't he? He's just kind of all these rumblings. They're all happening, and where there's no smoke. There's no smoke without or fire without smoke. Whatever it is, like I don't know what they're saying. It's that there's always like some essence of truth to these kind of rumors. So yeah, I think the wrestling business is better off without him. Really, like definitely. It's just everything right now.
Everything is better off without Vince McMahon.
Yeah, just kind of stay in your lane at this point. But I don't know. Like you've said, that anything can happen, for better and worse, in this business. So we'll have to just keep an eye on it, and we'll obviously be talking about it regardless of what happens. But something that it's not really any connection to any of that, so I'm just going to go something else. Something else within wrestling.
Something else that's happened.
Yeah. There you go. Something else in the last couple of hours is we've got a report from Fightful Select, and they have talked about. There's been a few little rumours going around about like just the All In card, and specifically like the top build like women's match on that card, which is Toni Storm taking on Mercedes Moné. Sorry, my cat's just doing some terrifying stuff around my feet right now. It's just attacking me. So yeah, as everyone does in the comments, it's great. So Toni and obviously the Mercedes Moné, that is the match right now. But there's been a few little rumblings that maybe Athena was going to take on Mercedes Moné. That was going to be potentially a match. All these things that were maybe going to happen. But Fightful is here to say that was not the plan for AEW All In. So there. There was obviously the reference here report. I think it was in the Observer that said, like, was talking about plans for All In that suggested that it was going to be Moné versus Athena. Like, that was potentially going to be on the cards for All In. And that Mariah May leaving was the thing that adjusted those plans. Because obviously if she left, like, maybe she was going to be involved with Toni Storm at All In. We don't know. That's just me speculating. Specifically, that as recent as the Owen Hart Foundation tournament, that Mercedes was open to losing to set up an All In rematch, and that was against Athena if that did happen, because obviously they had that match in that tournament. But this has been refuted by a number of AEW sources as never having been the plan. So again, there you go. So that's apparently never the plan. Fightful have been told that Mercedes has not been opposed at any point to losing to anyone. It's just not been broached during the push. It's not been mentioned, like no one suggested it, because having her be this dominant heel champion kind of works for the character, guys. Like it's a thing. Like you want to see her get beaten now, and you just gotta. You got to be really, really delicate and like careful with these things, because if you just throw that loss away at any point and maybe don't pay it off in the way you should, you've wasted something. So it's been something. It's not been Mercedes' idea. It's been just that it's not been like attached to her push right now. They've just not mentioned it. They can't. Within this, it says. I think Fightful can't speak, or whoever they spoke to, can't speak to her personal pitches regarding losing to Athena. But the plan for Toni Storm versus Mercedes has actually been on the cards for All In since last year, even when Mariah May was still champion. Mariah May, informed AEW that she'd be leaving the company by the Hollywood ending, but by then, AEW had already had these creative plans for Storm versus Monet set. They were like, that's where we're going, that's where we're leading to. They were told that May leave. So Fightful were told that May leaving didn't affect those plans at all. Like that was the plan. Like whatever happened, it only affected the early discussions as to who Mariah would face if she was still around. There were early discussions internally for her to actually compete in a non-title feud, and we don't know against who. So, and that would have been great. That would have been a great look for AEW if they were pushing a non-title women's match on that card on such a big stage. That's something that we need to see a lot more of. So that would have been great. One source has indicated that the plan for Monet versus Storm was something that was planned even as far back as a year before the show. So that's pretty crazy as well. And just to prove that my cat's a psychopath, here she is. And she was going nuts. She was jumping at me, weren't you, baby? You crazy animal. Go back now. There you go. Just to prove that I'm not crazy.
Just imagining cats around your feet.
Yeah. Oh, they're getting me again. Yeah.
Are you going to see it?
I think I'm done. Yeah, professional. Yeah, I think I'm done. Just wanted to get that at him. Why not?
Yeah, I mean, this makes sense. The Toni Storm, Mariah May story felt very carefully planned out, and that it had an end point, and that they knew where they were going, and that was the sort of grand finale kind of thing. And anything to sort of stretch past that, just might not have made that story as great as it was. That kind of, moment in time of this completed full run kind of thing. And they will have known when a contract was coming up, so you're not going to make concrete plans after that if you don't quite know if you're going to have her or not. And then if you just look at All In, on paper, you want the biggest match that you can possibly have in the women's division. And right now it's Mercedes Moné versus Toni Storm. That's just it. Of having another Toni Storm Mariah May match would have just been another match, and this is fresh and new, and it feels big, and it's a big deal. And when you think of dream matches of Mercedes Moné coming into AEW, Toni Storm's 100% one of them, so it makes sense to have this. And like you say, with the winning streak kind of thing, you've got to build these things up so that when they do get toppled, that means a hell of a lot more, and that will give something else to whoever it is that finally beats her, whether it is Toni Storm All In or whether it's someone else down the line. Who the hell knows? But all I know is that feels like Mercedes Moné and Toni Storm are going to be going all out to make this All In the best it can possibly be. So I'm kind of excited for it.
That card in general, after watching Dynamite this week, which I was a bit late to watching it, but then when I finally did, I was like, wow, the vibes are here.
Yeah, they're starting to bring it back in AEW.
So excited for that card. It just every single time a graphic pops up, I'm like, oh yeah, that's on it. Oh yeah, that's on it. And that's how you should feel about these massive shows. It should be like, oh yeah, I forgot every amazing match ever is on this card. Take my money.
Absolutely.
Yeah, take my money.
Hey, get it? Jokes. Moving over to UK wrestling, and Progress Wrestling is heading to Manchester on June the 29th for Chapter 181, Far From Ordinary People. Now they're going to the O2 Ritz, and it's going to be headlined by Luke Jacobs versus Cara Noir for the Progress Championship. If you haven't seen Cara Noir yet, what the hell are you doing? He's great. Shotzi is going to be there. Shotzi Blackheart versus Nina Samuels. But not only that, our very own Simon Miller is going to be there versus Jack Morris and Ethan Allen and Charles Crowley in a 4-way. You can get tickets at progresswrestling.com. But on top of all of that, guess who else is going to be there? Not doing anything wrestling-wise, but just being there. You, Gareth. You're going to be there.
I'm going to be there. It's Manchester, so it's the rule, isn't it?
It's the rule.
Anything wrestling Manchester, this egg will appear. So I'm going to be there. So come say hello if you're there. That'd
2 eggs for the price of one with Simon Miller and Gareth Morgan.
Just need another.
What more did you want?
We've got a nice dozen there that we can just put in a carton and just send out into the world. There you go. But yeah, it's going to be great. I'm so excited. I don't get to watch a lot of independent wrestling right now. I'm very busy.
Have you seen Miller wrestle live yet?
I don't think I have.
There you
go. Wow. Oh, there you go. That's the first time. Oh, it's going to be great. I'm going to do a run-in. I've said I'm going to hit him with a steel chair. I will not do that. No, and don't do that as a fan. That's not a good idea.
Don't do that.
He will kick your ass. He's a lovely man, but he will kick your ass. Get in that ring with him. So yeah, that's going to be great. It looks like an awesome show. Like you said, the card looks stacked. It looks so good. And yeah, it'd just be great to be in Manchester. Great city, great people. So yeah, get your tickets and go and have a good time. Have a good time with me watching wrestling.
There you go. Have a good time with Gareth. ProgressWrestling.com. Yeah, that's it. You can follow us on social media. You can follow me at Fill My Chambers, and you can have some good times with Gareth over on his social media.
Kitty cat. Yeah, because you can follow me at GMorgan04 on X, and then at Gareth Morgram on Instagram with the little kitty. And then if you like personal training stuff, at fitness.focus.gm as well, and we'll talk about muscles and other things, and I'll wear less.
Human
muscles. Cat muscles. Yeah. She's hench. Yeah, she's been doing some good squats recently, some good RDL. She's getting the summer cat bod. That's what she's getting.
Get your cat muscles on Instagram.
That's it.
And most importantly, have yourselves a bloody good day and have a good time with Gareth.
Yeah. For God's sake.